What's going on, fam? What's going on, fam? It's your boy, that Tube Kane, coming to you once again. And we got another good win episode for you today. As I always say, I pray that you have had a great day up to this point and that your day continues to be great. If you have not had a great day up to this point, I pray that from this moment forward that your day does get better. So without further ado, man, got a special guest in the house tonight. So I'm going to let her formally introduce herself.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Courtney Carter, upcoming actress. I'm pretty sure a lot of you have seen me in a couple of Tubi movies, and if you haven't, then tonight we're going to get into that, and you're going to get to know me a little better.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. So how have you been today?
Absolutely wonderful. It's Masters Week here in Augusta, Georgia, so
it's
really busy, but it's good for me because my cleaning business is booming.
Oh, also, man, Augusta, that's up in the country, as I used to say.
Mm-hmm.
I had when I was in the Marines, I had a staff sergeant. He was from Augusta, and man, he was a trip. He was a trip. But anyway, enough about him. So, how long have you been acting, Miss Carter? How long have you been acting?
Actually, it's pretty recent. I say I started like the end of 2023.
Okay.
So I'm fairly new, not even quite into 2 years yet.
Right. And what got you into acting?
Well, I've always been like one of those creative talent types. And as a kid, my dream jobs were always something of creativity, something of my talent. I've always written poetry. We used to make up skits, me and my sister and my cousin when we was little. And a few people that may have seen some of the interviews that I've done here recently where I'm explaining my story. And I've expressed that 2019, I went to prison. And that's about 7 years ago or so. But in the midst of me working through that and rebuilding and changing my life, I was able to get into that while I was in prison.
Okay.
And that started from a deputy warden just coming one day like, I want you to write the Christmas play. And I wanted to be Tyler Perry funny. And she was like one of those stern, serious types. And she always used to tell me, you're not supposed to be here.
Right.
She was like, it's a bigger calling on your life than sitting here in prisons. And she used to kind of ride me a little bit. And I used to think like, why does this lady hate me? But it's because she's seen something in me.
Right.
And she knew like, you're not the average person that we see in and out coming into this type of place. So I wrote the play and it happened to be quite funny. And it was done at Emmanuel Women's Facility, which is in Waynesboro, Georgia. And a lot of the ladies that I was in there with are on my page. And I picked the actors for the play. Actually, remember now, this is in a women's prison. This was the first time this had ever been done. And I wrote the play. I picked the ladies that I wanted to act in it. We had practices. I did all of the props, which I painted and cut and did all of that. And it was a Christmas event that they did for the ladies for Christmas. And I was able to present my play. So from that point to 7 years later, well, I say about 6 years later, then that's when I tried out for my first audition with CTC United Production Studios. Shout out to Jazz Mosley and Chantel. And they were doing auditions for my first movie, which was Body Count Bentley. I sent in my audition for that particular line they sent. And unfortunately, I didn't get selected at that time. But through God's work in life, the young lady that had that role wasn't able to follow through with the movie. And then that's when I came up for an opportunity. And like I said, that was the end of 2023. And I'm about 11, 12, maybe 13. I have to look at this paper and read them all out now at this point.
Wow. So during that time in 2019, and you say that the warden was riding you, like what were your thoughts when she was asking you? Was you like, oh shoot, man, it's right on my alley? Were you a little bit conflicted? Like, why is she like I know you said that you saw something in you, but how were you feeling internally? Were you kind of conflicted about it, or were you ecstatic? You know, saying already, what were your thoughts?
You hit it dead on the head, conflicted, because it was a little of why me? Of all these people in here, I hadn't had an opportunity, because when I was in prison, my work detail was I worked in recreation. So I did the Zumba dance fitness class. That's what I did Monday through Friday. So I hadn't showed her anything of any talent, any writing skills, but I guess from her seeing me put together these routines, and I had women that wouldn't even come out of their rooms for any activities until I started putting together this little dance Zumba, and I was able to get all the women out of the dorm into the gym. So I think she saw that, and then I think she kind of just wanted to test me to see if what she saw in me, if she was really right on it. And even though I had never did anything of this caliber before, I was somewhat excited, but I was nervous because I was like, what if it's not funny? And she had this look like Tyler Perry funny.
Like it better be funny.
Yes, and I was like, oh my goodness. So what might be funny to me might not be funny to someone else. And then when you're writing a Christmas play and you're talking about faith and religion, you have to be mindful of how you write it and how you present it, because everybody's belief system is different.
Right.
And she would come by every day and she'd see me with this trusty notebook. I'm a notebook type person with a pen everywhere I go. And I just be jotting down. And then after a while, I was like, man, I can do this. And I pulled it off. And to this day, I don't know if since I've left, if they've kept it going, but that was literally the first play that they had where they just let an inmate put it all together.
So you did that, you get out. Was it like a slow transition for you to pick back up into acting, or was you like, hey, what happened to me, that was definitely divine intervention, I need to hit the floor, I need to hit the ground running? What was that transition like from you getting out to you getting back into acting?
Okay, so my first love would always be poetry, because I've been writing since I was 12 years old. So I went from writing poetry to doing music. Okay. So when I was in prison, I was already established as an artist with doing music and stuff. So the acting thing was fairly new. And outside of, like I say, writing the play at prison and little stuff that me and my sister did growing up. So when I got out, I never thought that I would be acting and I would be 11, 12, 13 movies in now. I had no idea. I was still on the music journey. And one day I was scrolling Facebook and I would see J. Paul and Chantel posting about CTC and the movies. I just tried it.
Right.
That's the God honest truth. I just sent the audition in. I'm like, I can do this. And boom, here we are today.
Okay then. Well, okay then, fellow poet. I'm a poet as well. So, you know what I'm saying, as we do. So being in a short period of time that you're at least 11 to 13 films in, what have you seen in the movie industry that you thought it was one way when you were on the outside looking in, that you look at it differently now that you're on the inside of the industry?
Okay, see, when you're on the other side of the screen and we're viewing a movie,
right?
Sometimes you think in your mind, they memorize an entire script and everything is by memory, and they run that whole movie like from start to finish. I didn't realize that a movie is broken up into scenes. And of course, you'll get your script, and it's always key to memorize your script, memorize your role. But I honestly used to think if they give you a script, that you basically have to memorize that entire script, because when you go to film today, it's an all-day filming. And I didn't realize until I started acting that that entire movie is broken up into scenes. And another thing that I learned, what we see on this end is nowhere near the amount of hard work that goes into creating this movie. Like it looks just one way to us, like, oh, I can do this, I can do that. But then when you get into the environment to actually act, then you realize like, whoa, this is a lot, because everybody's watching you. If you got a lead role, you have to remember your lines. You have to know that when it's his line, that your line is next. So sometimes you have to learn the entire script, or at least learn certain points of the other person's script, so you'll know when to come in. Because if you just learning your script, you'll just be sitting there. They'll say something, you just waiting, and they're like, "That's your part." So I've learned like it's different aspects to this acting than just what we see when we view it at the finished product.
Okay, and I've asked, you know, what I'm saying, some of the actors on Tubi this before, and of course it's gotten better, because I know it was like worse maybe a few years ago, about how people just downgraded Tubi. You know, like, oh, I could get my neighbor to play this part, or things of that nature. Like, do you still, you know, get into that? Like check when you have a movie and it's on Facebook, and you'll check the comments? Or are you more like numb to it? Like, hey, everybody got opinions. Like what is your take on that?
Now, my first two movies, my first movie was Body Count Bentley. And then my second movie, I had a lead role with She Thought. And in those first two movies, I was going to the comments on every Tubi page, and people are going to be people. And at the end of the day, people have an opinion, you know. So I had to like really learn. Like I have tough skin anyway. My father raised me like that, so it's not too much that you can say, throw shade or dig that's really going to bother me, because even if it's a negative comment, you're still viewed it.
Right.
And how I look at it is Tubi is seen internationally around the world.
True.
So keep the comments coming, good or bad. I don't have a problem with it, but I've stopped reading the comments. And once I stop reading the comments, because it's almost like you will train yourself to read the comments and look for something negative.
Okay,
I stopped doing that. And once I stopped doing that, I started realizing that there were a lot more positive comments coming, where it was popping up in my news feed from me sharing the movies, that it was a lot of people that had more positive comments than the negative. And once I got away from checking the comments to see who said something negative, then I realized like they gonna say whatever. It could be, I don't care if it was a Tyler Perry movie, because people have said stuff about Tyler Perry movies.
That is
and
true.
Tyler Perry's rich.
Right.
So it's like you do, you don't, you know, it is what it is, but it doesn't bother me.
Right. So with all that being said, and you're in Augusta, you're doing your thing with a plethora of movies under your belt. Have you seen any? I know Augusta is kind of small, but have you seen any like preferential treatment with you being, you know, some movies, like you went to a restaurant and somebody said, "Oh no, I got this," or you went to a bar and someone said, "No, I got your drink." Like have you ever seen any, or somebody recognize you like, "Oh, this on me," or just somebody say, "Hey, can I get your autograph? Can I take a picture with you?" Have you seen any of that?
Actually, I have, and usually it's on the most regular day ever. It's never really when like I'm fixed up, like I'm actually going somewhere. It's normally like if I'm getting off from work, or if I'm just running to the gas station, like at the little hood gas station around the corner from me, they know me in there. I go in the Family Dollar, the Dollar General, they know me. And it's funny because I've had kids, and I'm like, what are you doing on Tubi? But I know kids' parents love Tubi. Kids love Tubi. It's free. you know. So, but yeah, I have come across that, but I haven't like really come across it like everywhere I go. And sometimes because I wear my hair naturally short like this, but depending on what movie I'm in, I may have weave, a wig, whatever. So sometimes I'll get people kind of like, dang, she looked familiar. And then it rests. I say they probably remember my face from the movie, but can't put it together because the hair is different. It was different on the movie. But yeah, I definitely have that happen sometimes. And it feels good because I'm like, that lets you know that outside of the people that you don't know that's in other places, that right here locally, people is watching it and people is, dang, that's that girl that I seen and she thought of this or that. So it's pretty cool. And my grandkids, oh, they love it. They tell all their friends, so they friends.
I just say they soaking it up.
I'm a superstar. Yeah, I said, well, grandma not a superstar yet, but I do make love though.
Right. So you said that you wear your hair short, but sometimes you have it like long or something like that. So in that same vein, do you have like a certain routine or a certain method when you're like doing these certain roles? I remember something that stuck out to me years ago. Like I'm a huge horror Friday the 13th fan, and Kane Harder played Jason in a few of the movies, and they said for him to get ready for some of the scenes, he would go in his dressing room and start breaking stuff. So do you have like anything? Like do you listen to music? Do you write some like what do you do to get ready for your scenes?
Okay,
for your roles rather.
This funny, boy. Okay, so what I do is I get the script. I read the entire script. I do voice record. So it might be 3 different men in the scenes, however, 2, 3 women besides me. I literally voice record the entire script. I change my voice. If it's Taquan line, he say, I'm about to go to the store. Hey dog, I'm about to go to the store. I record it just like that. So when I play it in my headphones when I'm at work, and I listen to the whole script, so I know, okay, this Joaquin part. If I said everything in my voice tone, it would kind of throw me off because I'm moving around at work. So I'm studying and learning my script, memorizing it while I'm at work. So it helps me with changing these voices. Okay, this is my normal voice. If it's Keisha's voice, oh my gosh, what are you doing? I changed the voices up so I know, okay, this is a different character, this like that. And then I remember one night I was in here doing that, and my man came to the door and he was like knocking, and I cracked the door and he was like, he probably thought somebody was in here, and it sounded like different conversations going on.
Oh,
time is me. So I opened the door and he was like, I say, that was me, I'm in here. He was like, whoa. He was like, it was like, I thought a man was in here. He was like, that's kind of scary that you sounded like. I said, well, I'm in here acting, I'm practicing. So that's one of the things I do to prepare. If it's a role that requires me to be sensitive, like I did a movie through Bermudaful Productions called Sunday Morning. And that required me to cry. And I'm a Gemini. It's I can be like, one way, then I can just get to crying. I can do that easy. So they had the little thing that you can like make your eyes water. I said, no, I don't need that. I said, give me 5 seconds. I turned around. I was thinking about my grandmother, how my grandmother's passed away, how proud they would be of me in this moment. And I could just like picture them telling me, I'm proud of you, keep going. And I thought about that for a good strong 5 seconds, and I turned around like, bam, tears. So yeah, it's a lot of different things that I'll probably incorporate with preparing for a role as I get to doing different types of roles.
Okay. So with that being said, and like I said, y'all, this is live, so this right off the hip. So if you've been in a relationship, are there some roles that you would like deviate from? If you be in a relationship, are you kind of person where like, hey, you understand I'm an actress, you know what I'm saying? I could be in here with Denzel or Boris or somebody, you know what I'm saying? Here, like what is your thoughts on that?
It's a lot.
Gotcha.
I say that based on the individual, which is me, and of the mate. If
Mm-hmm.
you have a mate that truly understands what goes into this, you'll be fine. If you have a mate that's very secure within themselves and they're in your relationship, you'll be fine. But if you have a mate, whether it's a man with his woman or a woman with her man, sometimes they don't understand what goes into it. When I'm on set, my phone's on silent. I don't care if you're calling. I care, but I can't care in this moment because
Right.
we're filming it live, and I'm not going to be the one getting yelled at by production. Phones on silent. That goes without saying. When you come in the building, before you get in the building, everything should be on silent. You should let everybody know. Look, I'm going to film, so I'm gonna be out of commission for a minute. Send me a text. I'll check it when I get a minute.
Right.
Thing, but don't work like that. If and this is personal, but it's real life, and I'm very transparent. I'm not a person that just come on the camera just to be seen, and then I'm capping about stuff that people in real life say, "Nah, that's not true." This is the God honest truth. A lot of roles that I've could have gotten, and that I would be interested in just venturing out, trying new things, I pulled back from it for the sake of respecting his feelings.
Gotcha.
I try to explain it as best that I can. It's acting. It's nothing serious. The sex scenes aren't real. I don't care how real they look. They're not real. I haven't been in a sex scene, but if you want to get in a level with acting, it's different roles you have to do, and that's just
Right.
what it boils down to. But it's not an easy job at all being in a relationship, and it's like sometimes you doing what you doing and people don't understand it takes time. Nobody just, it's very rare that people just jump into acting and they become famous and rich overnight. That very seldom happens. It takes a lot of actors and actresses years and years and years, and you can see they've been in all these movies, but why? That's just how it works. So I'm explaining that I have to film, I have to do roles, I have to promote, I have to this, but sometimes like it seems to him I put more into the acting than sometimes in what we got going on. And that's not it. It's just if I got a role, I got to tune out everything else in my regular life because I'm not going to be able to get in character. So it's like sometimes I'm constantly explaining that, and it gets a little frustrating. But at the end of the day, I have to understand that this isn't his life, it's my life. So I have to do what I need to do to respect the relationship, but also get him to understand in a way. And sometimes you can, sometimes you can't. But you know,
Right. Understood. Understood.
It's not easy at all.
I guess you can kind of equate it as far as just like the context where we're talking about is if someone marries somebody in the service, and you know that at some point in time they're going to have to go overseas or go somewhere for an extended period of time. Now you want them to be with you, and they may can't talk at this time and point in moment, but you know that hey, they're doing what they're contracted to do. They're doing what something they have to do. You know what I'm saying, for the betterment. You know what I'm saying, of the family, of the person. Because you know what I'm saying, once everything comes back, whether you benefited from free schooling, free medical, dental, whatever the case may be, same thing will be with you if you know. Well, I would say if when you know you get to that level and you start getting those 6 and 7 figure checks.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? He's still gonna reap, you know what I'm saying, the benefits, you know what I'm saying, of that. But you know, as we're humans, we do have these, you know what I'm saying, emotions. Like I don't know if you saw what's been circulating about the lady husband who was all up in Usher was all up in her face during the, you know what I'm saying. So we still have, you know what I'm saying, emotions. It's just understanding, you know, what a person doing, especially when since 2023 you have over 11 films. Your fruit, you know what I'm saying, is you know what I'm saying, showing. But once again, like I said, you know what I'm saying, we are human. So sometimes it just take people a little bit longer, you know what I'm saying, to you know what I'm saying, to come around, you know what I'm saying, to that.
But I ain't got I don't. You know, I try. I do what I can do to make you know you feel comfortable. But that no. because I can't
Understood.
wait for nobody. And when you got motion and you got to keep it going, because soon as you stop too long to, oh, I'm gonna take a break, you don't lost your motion, and
Yep.
then it's
It's
so
somebody in
hard
line.
to get back in to get that motion going. So I'm gonna just
Mhm.
keep going, and I'm just keep praying. God know my heart, He know my intentions, and at the end of the day, my mom, my daughters, my family, they proud. So honestly, anybody else, I'm just like, I love you, but I got to keep chasing my dreams.
Gotcha. So you have a birthday coming up next month,
Yes.
right? So, but at that same token, you have a movie that's
Yeah.
coming out. Matter of fact, on your birthday. So can you
Yes.
tell us a little bit about that?
Yes, that movie is called Trouble Mystic. Yes, there we go. Shout out to Jazz Paul Mosley, Moni Wright, Donna Francis, Lori, Huncho Malik. We starred in this movie, and it's basically when we had Hurricane Helene. It's
Okay.
basically like a movie around the storm. And I play a mother, and my daughter is the young lady that's on the cover. That's my daughter, and we're going through this storm. And Huncho, that's in the middle, that's Mr. Catfish. For y'all that don't know, he was on episode Catfish. Y'all check that out too. But he's like, I'm coming in one day with groceries. He's walking down the street with a gas can. So I'm like, hey, you okay? Blah, blah, blah. He needs to go to the store for some gas. I explained all the gas stations are down. There's no gas. So I invite him in like a good Samaritan, like, if you need to use the phone, come on in. He does, calls a tow truck, can't get a tow truck in the storm. So he gets stuck at me and my daughter's house during the
Oh,
storm, during the power outage. So we just kind of get to know him a little bit. And then all of a sudden, my daughter starts noticing, like, we start to get along with him really good. And it's like, okay, well, God blessed us with somebody in the storm that we can be of a help to them. He can be of a help to us. But he
right.
turned out to be stone cold psycho. And he had a thing for me on the low, but he really had a thing for my daughter.
Oh, wow.
And he ends up causing a bunch of commotion. I don't want to give all the
Right. Oh,
but
man.
yeah, it's a good movie, and he turns out to be a psycho. And yeah, we learned that you can't help everybody.
Wow.
When being a good Samaritan goes wrong, that's pretty much during the storm. So that's
Right.
kind of like a synopsis of the movie without giving everything away. And then once we get the trailer, then I can post the trailer. But the trailer should be soon. But
Okay.
yeah, Trouble Mystic drops on May 27th.
Which is?
My
Oh,
birthday.
that's what's up. That's what's up, man. That's a beautiful thing. Not just have a movie drop in your birthday month that you're the lead actress in, but to have the movie drop on your actual
And it was
birthday.
organically. It wasn't, we chose the date. The movie company, the distribution chose the date, and it happened to be my birthday. So that was a
Wow.
good blessing, good gift.
So you know that movie finna be good if it do good.
Yes,
I'm definitely gonna be
yes.
tuning in. Soon as May 27th hit, I'm gonna be looking for it.
Thank you, thank you.
So, like, do you have anybody? Okay, I ask you this: on two sides, on the independent side with Tubi Films,
Mhm.
who do you desire to work with, and on the major side, like on your Lionsgate and Paramount, who do you desire to work with?
Um, let's see. Locally here, I always work with CTC United. That's my team. But shout out to Felicia Geechee Rivers. She's from the South Carolina area, and she's done a lot of movies, and I watched a lot of them. And she's a good writer. At some point, I would like to work with her because she does great work. I might be pronouncing her name wrong. Aisha Anu, Aishaanu. I'm not sure. I might be pronouncing it wrong, but she's from this area. But I like to work with her. I'm just trying to think of what I can think of at the top of my head.
Right.
But I'm open to work with anybody. I'm not, just secluded to my team because it's about broadening our horizons and branching out, working with other people. But if I had, if I could work with somebody, and a lot of people say Tyler Perry,
Mhm.
but my I would love to work with oh my god, one of the Wayans brothers, one of them.
Okay.
Something they wrote something, whether it was Damon, King, the oldest one, the son, any of them, they talented. And what was the other guy? He did the movie Hollywood Shuffle. He's a black guy. He's really famous. He wrote a lot of movies. He did not The Temptations, but the movie that was fake that everybody thought was real. Not The Temptations, the
The 5 Heartbeats.
Yeah, was that a fake movie?
You talking about Robert Townsend?
Yes, him. That's him. That's him.
They claim it was based on the Dales, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
That's the rumor. Allegedly. Let me just put that there.
And what was one more? Spike Lee.
Gotcha.
Okay. When I think of acting and I think of like African American roles, powerful role, that's what I think of. If I could have an opportunity at some point, anything they produce, they've written something like that. You know, that's a little old school maybe for some people, but that was real acting, real writing. You know, and that was from our people. So yeah.
Yeah, you did give me a throwback with that Robert Townsend.
Yes, I couldn't put his name to save my life.
Now Robert Townsend, it did somehow fall in your lap.
Mm-hmm.
Spike Lee, did somehow fall in your lap.
Yeah, you're absolutely
so
right.
before I get you out of here, I like to ask, these questions that kind of put people on the spot.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing weird out the way, but in the past, if there was a movie that you could replace the lead actress in, you'd be like, you know what, I could do a good job in that movie as well. What movie would you want to star in from a movie from the past?
Coffee.
Okay.
With Pam Grier. Any of the movies, I'm a Pam Grier fan. I like all them old school movies. Anything that she played in, yes.
Okay, then.
Something recent. There's a series, Raising Kanan.
Okay.
Raquel, yeah.
Okay.
That's my ultimate goal. I want to do a movie like that because I can go back and pull from my past.
Mm-hmm.
So I've changed now, and I could really pull that character off.
Okay. 50 Cent, you hear that? Curtis Jackson, you hear that?
And Cat Williams is building his own production studio. I can't remember exactly where they said but he's bought a building, and that's what he's working on, building his own production studio. So he's gonna be another Tyler Perry, another 50 Cent. But
okay, all right, Cat Williams, you follow your lap. You got somebody right here. All right, so tell everybody where they can find you at your social, your movies that you've been in, and all that good stuff.
Okay, well, for social media, I go by Courtney Carter. That's my name. That's my actress name. So you can find me, Courtney Carter, on Facebook, of course. Any of the other social medias, Instagram, Snapchat is CEE. Loyalty is royalty, all together. Let's see. The movies, if you want, be sure to go to www.ctcunitedproductionstudio.com. We got our team got everything. We do movies, videos, recording, beats, photo shoot.
Okay.
You can get t-shirts printed, everything. But if you go on the website, it has all of the actors and actresses that are part of CTC United, and you can click on there and it'll take you to their sites. The movies on Tubi. If you don't mind, I'm gonna read some of them off because some of them already off. We got Body Count Bentley is already out. She Thought is out. Forever Single is out. Single Forever. Liquid Dreams, the Dawkins Brothers Liquid Dreams, The Weight Gain, The Special Effect, Kiss Me Once, Vanity Flaw dropped. Yes, on the 8th, so it's out now. Trouble Mystic drops May 27th. 7 Days Without Sex is out now, and A Wolf's Cries is coming soon. But anytime, you can find me on IMDb Pro, Courtney Carter, and you can take a look at all my credits, movie credits. CTC United, CTC Films. Yeah, shout out to my team. And shout out to you for having me tonight. I really appreciate it.
Oh, anytime. It has definitely been, a pleasure. Once again, because you didn't have to do it. A lot of people, well, I ain't gonna say a lot of people, some people, they want that name that's already out there that has the, million plus followers and
You
all
gotta
that
build.
good
You
stuff.
have to build.
So I definitely, appreciate the time that you took out of your busy schedule to sit down with your boy, the To Be Kane, and hopefully we'll be back again, to discuss Trouble Mystic, after at some point after your birthday. But I want you to leave everybody with this. Mm-hmm. What would you tell somebody who is going through something and has hit that roadblock to where they don't know what to do? What advice would you give them?
I always say when it gets to that point, sometimes you just have to fall on your knees and you have to cry to the Lord. Sometimes it don't matter where you at. Sometimes you could be in the grocery store. If you have that feeling in you that I just don't know, and my grandma always taught me, fall to your knees and pray to God. Ask God to help you, give you strength. Never give up. And you can be down today and you pray to God and God feel you and know your intentions, and the next day you could be up. So you can't never give up. Don't never down yourself. If you make a mistake that causes you to get to that point, accept it, be accountable, and just know you can learn from it and work from it, and just keep pushing no matter what anybody say that's negative. Keep pushing and keep God in your life and always pray.
Right.
Because no matter what, you can never go wrong with God. I'm not trying to preach or nothing like that, but God is always your go-to when you have something going on that your fellow man or woman can't feel. God can feel that voice. So I tell anybody, keep faith and always pray. And always pray for strength. Because we all get weak sometimes. It don't matter. The richest people sometimes go through the most stuff in life.
Right.
You just gotta pray and just keep believing. That's all I could say.
Right. Well, those some words of wisdom right there. I appreciate that, Ms. Carter. And of course, this is brought to you by the 2020 Podcast LLC. Please say the LLC. Also to the Wind Down Wednesday podcast with your boy, Mr. Wind Down Wednesday. Our sponsor, Black Renaissance Clothing Brand. Make sure you go to the website, www.shopblackrenaissance.com. We got the new gear that is dropping right now. If you go to the website and put in promo code LLC20, you'll get 20% off your entire purchase. So make sure that y'all check that out. They got the hoodie dresses.
I like that.
The HBCU. So no HBCU has been left unturned. So make sure that y'all go to the website and definitely check that out. So without further ado, we thank y'all so much. And I got a saying, so I need you to say the saying with me, Miss Carter. The saying is, it's no more, of course, it's proved by the To Be Kane, and it's, no more Netflix and chill, it's To Be and Drill. So we're going to say that, all right? No more Netflix
crap.
and chill, it's To Be.
Oh, man, I'm not unbent. I'm like, what? Okay, we're going to try again.
All right. We're going to say, it's no more Netflix and chill, it's To Be and Drill.
Okay.
All right. So, of course, this is approved to you by the To Be Kane. It's no more Netflix and chill.
No more Netflix and chill.
It's To Be and Drill.
To Be and Drill.
All right, y'all.
We have the hashtag.
Y'all
have a good night. Thank you so much. God bless y'all.
Thank you.
All right.